Imagine walking into a boxing ring at 4 in the morning, in the middle of Africa, knowing the man standing across from you had destroyed every opponent who came before him. George Foreman wasn't just undefeated. He was terrifying, and Muhammad Ali was supposed to be next. But what happened that night in Kinshasa would become one of the greatest sporting miracles the world had ever witnessed. October 30th, 1974. Kinshasa, Zaire. The streets were alive long before sunrise. Thousands of people were heading toward the stadium, chanting the same two words again and again. Ali Bomay. Ali kill him. But inside that stadium was a man who looked almost impossible to defeat. His name was George Foreman, and Muhammad Ali was 32 years old. Foreman was only 25. The champion was younger, stronger, undefeated, and many believed Ali had made the biggest mistake of his career. But Ali wasn't walking into Africa simply to fight George Foreman. He was walking into Africa to reclaim something he had lost 7 years earlier. 7 years before Kinshasa, Muhammad Ali had been the heavyweight champion of the world. Then everything disappeared. After refusing induction into the U.S. military because of his religious beliefs, Ali was stripped of his championship and effectively forced away from boxing for several years. The fighter who had once stood at the top of the world suddenly couldn't even enter the ring. His prime was disappearing. His title was gone. And critics began asking the same question. Was Muhammad Ali finished? But Ali never stopped believing. When he finally returned to boxing, he fought his way back through the heavyweight division. He fought Joe Frazier.
I've seen you never walk out with a nice smile. You always look
I
like
don't
you're
like
troubled
it.
when you walk
too,
out.
because I am troubled. We have so many problems.
He fought Ken Norton. He survived punishment that would have broken lesser fighters. And by 1974, he had earned another opportunity at the championship. There was only one problem. The champion was George Foreman. And Foreman wasn't supposed to lose. George Foreman entered the fight with an aura of destruction. He had won the heavyweight championship by destroying Joe Frazier. He had knocked Frazier down 6 times before the fight was stopped. Then Foreman demolished Ken Norton, another man who had previously defeated Ali. Suddenly, the division had a terrifying equation. If Foreman could destroy Frazier, and Foreman could destroy Norton, what chance did Ali have? Foreman was undefeated at 40-0 entering the fight, and he had become the overwhelming
In the world, these shows are not getting on yourself, just leave you out. But in general, these shows are so phony.
favorite. But Ali saw something different. Everyone else saw Foreman's strength. Ali saw his weakness. Foreman could punch like a giant, but could a giant keep punching forever? Then came the most unusual part of the story. The fight wasn't happening in Las Vegas. It wasn't happening in New York. It wasn't happening in London. It was happening thousands of miles away in Kinshasa, Zaire, modern-day Democratic Republic of the Congo. Promoter Don King had helped create the event, while Zairean President Mobutu Sese Seko provided major financial backing for the spectacle. The fight was promoted as the Rumble in the Jungle. For Ali, Africa became more than a location. It became a symbol. 2 Black American heavyweight champions were about to fight for the world's greatest boxing prize on African soil.
America.
That's
Ain't
right.
nobody serious. People hungry,
But it ain't
war,
Mike, man.
all kind of trouble, and key.
That's right.
And
That's
the
right.
black and the
And the people of Kinshasa had already chosen their hero, Muhammad Ali. But nobody in that crowd knew what was about to happen inside the ring. The fight had originally been scheduled earlier, but an injury to Foreman forced a postponement. That meant more waiting, more speculation, more pressure, and more time for Ali to talk. Ali never stopped performing. He mocked Foreman. He questioned his confidence. He promised the world that the champion wasn't as invincible as everyone believed. Foreman, meanwhile, remained largely focused on one thing: getting into the ring and knocking Ali out. Foreman expected the fight to end quickly. Some believed it might take only a few rounds. Ali knew that expectation was exactly what he needed, because the more Foreman believed he had to destroy Ali
everybody's laughing.
That's right.
Key.
That's right.
Everything is a laugh here in America.
quickly, the harder Foreman would have to work to do it. And Ali had a plan.
Muhammad Ali
A
is
plan almost
hot-shotting
nobody
Frazier.
understood. Finally, October 3rd, broadcast internationally. The fighters entered the ring in the early hours of the morning. Around 4:30 a.m. local time, Ali climbed through the ropes at the Stade du 20 Mai. Approximately 60,000 people packed the stadium. The temperature was still oppressive. The atmosphere was electric. Ali raised his arm. The crowd exploded. Ali, Bomay. Foreman entered wearing the championship robe. He was the undefeated champion. Ali was the challenger. But emotionally, something strange had already happened. The crowd had turned Ali into their champion. And now the two men stood face to face. One was the future. The other was trying to reclaim the past. Then the bell rang. Nobody expected what Ali did next. Instead of dancing around the ring the way he had throughout much of his career, Ali attacked. He fired quick right hands. He surprised Foreman. He moved in and out. And then he began talking. Ali wasn't simply fighting George Foreman. He was fighting Foreman's mind. The champion tried to close the distance. But Ali wouldn't let him settle. Every punch had a purpose. Every movement created another
And the
pressure.
referee told them both
Foreman
to
was
stop.
expecting Ali to run. Instead, Ali was standing in front of him. And then Ali did something that would change boxing forever. He went to the
With
ropes.
that right hand and
Ali
getting away
leaned
with it.
backward against the ropes. Foreman looked at him. Then he started punching. One shot. Then another. Then another. Foreman unloaded his enormous power. But Ali wasn't standing there.
That's right. That's right. YouTube, black entertainers, key. That's right.
Is there an echo in here?
No, I'm with it. I'm with it.
I'm just saying, you know.
He leaned away from punches. He absorbed what he could. He blocked what he couldn't avoid. And most importantly, he made Foreman work. This became known as rope-a-dope, a strategy in which Ali used the ropes and his defensive positioning to withstand Foreman's attack while conserving energy. To the audience, it looked dangerous. To Foreman, it looked like Ali was trapped. But
Muhammad
Ali
Ali
knew
is
something
not
Foreman
keeping
did.
Joe
The
Frazier
ropes
away
weren't a
from him.
prison. They were a trap. Foreman continued throwing. Hard punches, body shots, hooks, heavy combinations. Every punch seemed capable of ending the fight. But Ali kept surviving. And he kept talking. Foreman punched. Ali whispered. Foreman punched again. Ali answered with words. The champion wanted Ali to fight. Ali wanted Foreman to become exhausted. That difference was everything. Foreman had spent his career destroying opponents before they could adapt. Ali was giving him nothing easy to hit. And with every wasted punch, the champion was spending something he could never recover. His energy. By now, Foreman was throwing with everything he had. But Ali wasn't panicking. He knew he couldn't simply overpower Foreman. So he changed the fight into a battle of endurance. Foreman attacked. Ali defended. Foreman attacked again. Ali leaned against the ropes. The champion's punches began losing some of their sharpness. Not because Foreman suddenly became weak, because Ali was forcing him to spend his strength. And this was where the psychological battle became just as important as the physical one. Ali wanted Foreman to believe he was winning, because if Foreman believed Ali was helpless, Foreman would keep punching, and that's exactly what Ali wanted. Every time Foreman landed a big punch, the crowd reacted. But Ali wasn't going down. Instead, the challenger kept looking at Foreman. He kept talking. He kept challenging him. The fight became almost surreal. The younger champion was throwing everything at an older challenger. And the older challenger seemed almost amused. By the fifth round, the difference was becoming clearer. Foreman was still dangerous, but his punches weren't carrying the same force. The giant was beginning to slow. Ali had survived the storm. Now the storm was starting to disappear. And Ali knew the moment he had been waiting for was getting closer. The fifth round was crucial. Foreman kept attacking. Ali remained on the ropes. But the champion was beginning to tire. The heat wasn't helping. The early morning conditions weren't helping. And Ali's strategy was doing exactly what it was designed to do. Foreman was punching himself out. Ali later described the strategy in different ways. But the fundamental idea was simple. Make Foreman work. Make him miss. Make him carry his own weight. And wait. Because Ali didn't need to beat Foreman in the first round. He didn't need to beat him in the second. He simply needed to survive long enough for the giant to become human. And by the sixth round, that transformation was becoming impossible to ignore. Foreman's punches were still dangerous, but they were becoming slower. Ali started taking more control. He continued to lean against the ropes, absorbing and deflecting punches. Then he would suddenly fire back. A quick combination, a sharp right hand, a fast series of punches, then back to defense. It was frustrating Foreman. The champion couldn't understand why Ali wasn't falling. He had destroyed Frazier. He had destroyed Norton. Yet Ali was still standing. And now Ali was making him work harder than either of them had. The hunter was becoming the hunted. By the seventh round, Foreman was exhausted. Ali could see it. The champion's legs weren't as stable. His punches weren't as explosive. His breathing had changed. The man who had entered the stadium looking unstoppable was now fighting simply to keep Ali in front of him. And Ali knew it. The greatest psychological weapon in boxing is sometimes not a punch. It's the moment your opponent realizes you are no longer afraid of him. Ali had reached that moment. He stepped away from the ropes. He looked at Foreman, and suddenly the fight changed. There was only one round left before history. The eighth round began. Foreman was exhausted. Ali was tired too. But Ali had saved something. His timing, his speed, his ability to explode at the right moment. For 7 rounds, Ali had allowed Foreman to spend himself. Now Ali began moving more aggressively. Foreman tried to follow, but he couldn't recover his old rhythm. Ali landed punches. Foreman tried to answer. Then, in the final seconds of the 8th round, Ali unleashed the attack. A quick combination. Foreman tried to stay upright. Ali landed again. Then came the punch that changed everything. A left, then a powerful chopping right. Foreman's legs suddenly betrayed him. The undefeated champion stumbled backward. For a moment, he looked confused. Then George Foreman fell to the canvas. The stadium exploded. Ali stepped away. He didn't celebrate wildly. He simply watched. The referee began counting. 1, 2, 3. Foreman tried to rise, but his body wouldn't cooperate. The count continued, and then the impossible became official. George Foreman couldn't beat the count. Muhammad Ali had knocked out the undefeated heavyweight champion in the 8th round. The stadium erupted into chaos. People rushed toward the ring. The crowd screamed, "Ali, Bomaye!" The man who had lost his championship 7 years earlier had reclaimed it. At 32 years old, Muhammad Ali was heavyweight champion of the world again. He had done something only Floyd Patterson had previously accomplished, become a dethroned heavyweight champion and regain the title. But the victory meant more than a belt. Ali had defeated the man everyone believed was too young, too strong, and too dangerous to beat. And he had done it in Africa in the middle of the night, in front of a roaring crowd that had believed in him. For Ali, this wasn't simply about winning another boxing match. He had spent years hearing that his best days were behind him. He had lost his title. He had lost years of his career. He had been beaten by Joe Frazier. He had suffered a broken jaw against Ken Norton. And now he was standing at the top again. His daughter later recalled that Ali considered the rumble in the jungle the fight that meant the most to him. Because, in his mind, he wasn't fighting only for himself. He believed the victory represented something larger. A connection between African Americans and Africa, a connection to identity, a connection to history, and a demonstration that sometimes the impossible only looks impossible until somebody refuses to accept it. But there was another side to the story. George Foreman walked away from the ring devastated. He had entered Kinshasa undefeated. He believed he was unbeatable. Then 8 rounds later, everything he believed about himself had collapsed. The defeat affected Foreman deeply. He had not simply lost the heavyweight championship. He had lost the identity he had built around being invincible. Years later, Foreman would